Hey, how's it going? David here, and I'm back. I took a break. I've never been better, but I did want to share with you some stuff I've worked on the last 6 months, and it's something I haven't even announced yet. And it's something that hopefully, like you guys, I'm gonna give you guys like a sneak peek of everything and answer your questions. But yeah, this is a game dev stream, and I'm just gonna take it easy. I just want to chat, see how you're all doing and everything. So can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, good to see you. Got Don Duval. Thanks for tuning in. A true Dre fan. Thank you. Thanks for watching. This is awesome. Got 100 people. Man, that's crazy. I can't believe like I used to do this all the time, cuz I'm not like a streamer. I'm learning to be more authentic, and I'm not a content creator. But I am like a storyteller, and I do love game development. And I did work on a big like project that I want to show you guys, and I think you're gonna really like it. Yeah, how are you guys doing? I'm happy you're here. What else is new? So I was in an external office it was because like the stress of my business was kind of being too much for me to handle. And so, but then like I let go of a lot of things. I let go of the pressure. And then I just moved. Now I work at home, and I don't stress myself out by working insane hours anymore. I just take it as it comes, and now I'm like much happier. So I don't need an external office anymore. So I hooked up my DSLR camera and my lights. I hooked it up to my desk. I had a plastic mount that broke, so I got this nice heron mount for a DSLR on Amazon, and check this out. Okay, this is my standing desk, so watch this. Oh, bye. See you guys. Bye. I love my standing desk. It's so awesome. And that just helps, get the blood flowing when you're working a long day. Got a mat on the bottom and everything. So that's pretty fun. Yeah. Yeah, I want to talk about Unity. I want to talk about this new, I guess it is. It's a mini course. I made a small online course for everybody, and that it's priced accessibly. And it comes from a lot of requests of people saying, hey, I want to learn how to make a game, but I don't want all the bonuses. I just want a nice detailed lesson plan with challenge slides and examples, and only using free assets. That was a big request. And so the past few months, I took a part of the full Games of Unlocked curriculum. And so people who are GDU students, or people who are part of Thomas Brush's full-time game dev, they know this material already. But for Black Friday, I decided to open it up to everybody, and it's called the 7-Day Game Launch Challenge. And I'm going to talk about the game I made. And it's been cool, like seeing so many developers use this as a basis for them to finish their first game and to publish it, because that was the whole point of making Game Dev Unlocked. Like, as you guys know a bit about my story, I was a hobbyist. I was just interested mostly at working at big studios. I never ever dreamed or planned on being an indie game developer. But, I always, to get that creative energy out, I'd work on my games at night for years. And then just one thing led to another, and, I kept trying to push myself. I wanted to fulfill my dreams of, like, for instance, releasing a game on consoles, which, yeah, that took a year. And I was doing this all while I worked full-time and was a new dad. And, yeah, and then one day I was like, my income, I don't want to say lucky, because game development is a lot of work and it takes a lot of research, but luck has a part in it for sure. That's what I said in my GDC talk, right? Like, it's luck is a part of the answer, but it's not the whole answer. And it does take a lot of hard work, a lot of analysis, a lot of market research. But yeah, I did get lucky, I guess you could say, with the first tree, and I I ported it to consoles and it did extremely well on Nintendo Switch. And then I was like, I need to quit my job. Like, I just have too much to do. And I was going to speak at GDC. And that was been the most, I've had the most self-discovery I've ever had in my life the past couple years. And maybe it has to do also with like with COVID and the pandemic and raising children and running a business. But I'm trying to be authentic, and I just want to let you guys know, while I don't really consider myself, I don't ever have aspirations to be like a hardcore content creator on YouTube. I do love telling stories, and that's what I love. And I've been working on my new game, and I've never been happier. I'm so excited. And this is a game that probably won't be very, like, people who like the first tree, which is, he plays a fox, and it's very colorful and beautiful music and stuff. And it's like a lot like Journey. It won't be like that game. But I'm so excited for this new game because I'm making this game for me. And I just feel really excited for the future. So I'm doing good. I probably won't be posting much on YouTube. But I am excited to show you guys this new product. I haven't actually ever announced it. I think it was announced on social media this morning and to my newsletter. And maybe you guys got an ad for it. Maybe you got an ad for the 7-day game launch challenge, which I've been experimenting with Facebook and YouTube ads. That's something I've always wanted to get good at and learn how to figure it out. Because that's like a whole other world and a whole other industry to master, especially when you're trying to market stuff, market a game, market a digital product. But yeah, this is the first time it's been announced, and I think I'm going to close enrollment to this new mini course next week. And so then it won't be available. You might be able to see it later, like in an email blast or maybe like on an ad, but usually it won't be available. And so, yeah, I'm excited to show it to you guys though. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Okay. I'm checking the chat. Hope you guys are doing well. Cause yeah, life's crazy, isn't it? Thank you. Ashe, my camera looks very nice. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the donation. Paulo, I appreciate it. For me, the worst part is to have new ideas. How can I fix this? This is very common. And a lot of devs, I've heard it called shiny object syndrome. And it's because every personal project, like you're doing it because it's fun, right? Like you want to start a new game because you're excited. And then there's the honeymoon phase where every part is really fun and exciting and all that. But I read a quote just yesterday that really had an impact on me. When you're trying to dig a well for water, you don't dig 100 holes that are 1 foot deep. You dig one hole that's 100 feet deep. And that's definitely true with game development. And it's definitely true for any like huge creative endeavor. Like someone like a singer-songwriter writing their first album, like writing one song, that's a lot of work, but then to do it like times 10, to write up 10 songs for an album, that's a ton of work. And it's what will set you apart from the people who want to do it for fun, but the people who really want to make something and release it to the world. Because trust me, like the first tree was not fun to work on at the end of its lifespan. And I was sick of it. And it literally made me nauseous to work on the first tree in 2018, the console ports and everything. So yeah, it's very normal, but it just takes discipline, right? Thanks for the donation. Yeah, I'll answer a couple questions, and then I can show you my Unity stuff. Talk about the 7-day game launch challenge, which I think would really help you guys. I think you guys would really enjoy it. And it's really cheap. It's definitely priced accessibly for everybody, that was my intention. A question from Matage says, how many wish lists is good for release game on Steam? This changes a lot, and also not every wish list is created equal. So I would say, I had about, was it 6,000? This is in 2017 though. It's different now. But in 2017 I launched, I was close, like within a few days of release. I had about 6,000 or 8,000 wish lists. Maybe 6. But because I had so many that I've gotten organically, it helped me get on the popular upcoming tab, which gets you're on the front page of Steam, and that dramatically increases your wish list. So by the time I actually launched, I had 12,000. But before, like, I didn't really do any work for those last 6,000. I just worked really, really hard for those first 6,000, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's different now. But people, there's lots of strategies now. Like, if you guys follow Simon Carlos, he talks a lot in his newsletter. I have a video about, we had an interview and it was really great like a month or so ago. You guys should watch that. But yeah, there's like, you can do Steam prologues. The big thing now is submitting a demo to like the Steam Next festivals, like those Steam up and coming game ones. You get so many good, high quality wish lists from those. So yeah, it's just, you got to do the work, got to put in the work. Yeah. Jay Creation says, should I stop working on a dream project and start working on something that has a smaller scope to get my first game released out there? I'm a big fan that it's like a snowball effect with game development or any like artistic creation process. And I think there's the main problem, like the reason I created Game Dev Unlocked was because we're in this society of like constant like dopamine hits and we're just constantly entertained. And like if a game is too boring for like 5 minutes, we quit, we go Game Pass, we get to the next game. And the fact is, like, creative processes, they're work. They're a lot of work, and it's boring. Like, it's boring sometimes. So I made Game Dev Unlocked to kind of kickstart or push this small snowball down the figurative hill that it gains momentum, and that's by releasing small games. And that's kind of what the 7-day game launch is too, where you make something that you add your own creative touches, your own story touches, add your own visual touches, but keep the base foundation of the game the same. And then you finish it in 7 days. And even if it's not perfect, you release it anyway so that you can say, I finished a game. And there's something that happens when you release a game. You see streamers, like if you post on itch.io, streamers will start playing your game. And they'll say, hey, check out my video. And to see somebody else, a stranger, enjoying your game, even if it's not the best game in the world, that's okay. But it's yours. And you added your touches to it. Seeing a streamer play it, it's so inspiring. And those are the feelings you hold on to when you work on your second game and your third game and your fourth game. And you keep improving and improving. And then maybe by the time, I don't know, on your 8th or 9th game, you are making an epic, huge game that you would have never made before. But it starts off, but that's why I'm a fan of starting off small. So yeah, hope that helps. Those are good questions. I'm going to answer more questions at the end, I promise. But I did want to talk about the 7-day game launch challenge. And I'm going to give you guys a coupon code, and I'll talk about what you get with it and everything. And I'm really excited about this. Have you guys, tell me in the chat, have you guys heard of the 7-day game launch challenge? Like, did you get an ad for it? Like I said, I was experimenting with ads in places, and I have no idea if they're even, well, I keep a spreadsheet to see if they're actually working, but ads are like a whole new ball game. Nope. Okay. Lovi did. Cool. Okay, goodbye, Ricky Gamer. Thanks for coming. Okay, interesting. Okay, just a few people. Man, that bums me out. Like, in YouTube, you can set ads up to only like send out to people who subscribe to the channel. And it's looking like maybe 5% of you guys have actually seen the ad. And that's just, there's so much noise in the internet. Like I was saying, there's dopamine hit after dopamine hit. I feel like we're all kind of getting this new form of ADHD. And that's what's hard with creative projects. Like it is like it's, you have to work and it's boring. But if you stick with it, at least for like a year or two, like I'm not saying work on a game for 10 years, but like work on like a game for 2 years or something. That was my limit, was like 2 years, and then I was so burnt out. But if you do that and you stick with it and you do it a little bit every day, it makes a difference. It adds up. And then you'll have something you're proud of. And maybe, just maybe, it's hard to say, but maybe that game will go viral on Reddit or on the Steam front page. And then you can do it all over again as a full-time job, which is pretty cool. Oh, thank you. Okay, Jeff Sonad. All right, great. Zayer said I signed up. Thank you. Thanks for signing up. Hope you guys like it. Okay, cool. Jonathan says, hey, what you're saying is right, but you can use easily digestible content to your advantage. Exactly. Yeah, and that was definitely kind of what I was thinking, making this curriculum, like for Game Dev Unlocked and this mini course I'll talk about later today. Okay, let's dive into Unity. I wanted to show you guys what I was thinking. All right, let me, wait, where is this? All right, let's try this. This is Unity 2019.3. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of the terrain system of Unity. And it's so easy. Like, it doesn't take much to like get going with it. And you can get like cool like brushes and everything. Wow, you could do like little, I'm really just messing around at this point. But yeah, I sculpt my games, especially the first tree in my very first game back in 2015. Home is where one starts. I use the Unity terrain system, and I love it. And I'm doing this like low poly look on the terrain, and I'm using environment lighting, so it bounces off, like the light is being bounced from the skybox onto this shiny low poly world. And I did that because I wanted to give it a very certain aesthetic. And also in the 7-day game launch challenge, we talk about modifying assets, because as most of you guys know, I love asset stores. I'm obsessed with them. But you don't want to make an asset flip game. You don't. And so, but there's a way to like not reinvent the wheel with every 3D model out there and still give your own creative touches and modify them. And you've just saved, like, honestly, if I didn't have assets, I definitely would have never finished the first tree. And I think a rough estimate is it saved me 1,000+ hours. Like, I would have never finished my game without assets, without at least modifying them. You know what I mean? And I don't know, there's just like little tricks that you learn as an indie game developer, especially as an environment designer. Like, I read a long time ago that the environment designer of Firewatch, which do you guys like Firewatch? The environment designer, like, she made 7 or 8 rock 3D models, and that's the whole game. Like, a lot of those 3D models are like rotated or shrunk, so you can't really tell, and they're like mixed together with other rocks to make mountain sides or like cliff faces and stuff. But I never guessed. I'm like an environment designer, and I never guessed there was only that many rocks in the game. You know what I mean? So those are like tricks. Like, they're not even tricks. They're just common sense strategies to help you finish your game as fast as possible. So you're not making 50 rock 3D models. You just make 8 and then, you know, adjust them and manipulate them so that no one can see that it's kind of like, you know, they're repeated many times, if that makes sense. Let me grab my chat window. But yeah, this game, I was thinking, and then I'm going to go over kind of the videos. I don't know what okay, that's this big black thing is the canvas. So I think I can just hide it like that. Yeah. These sci-fi buildings, again, I like de-res them in GIMP. We use only free tools in the 7-day game launch. And then, yeah, I adjusted this free tree pack to make it low poly as well. And this is where you start. And then I think near the end of the video, maybe I'll show you guys like what the game is. Or I guess I could just do it right now. Should we try it? Maybe, hopefully you guys can hear the sound and everything. I was too scared to follow you. I'm sorry. I just knew they would capture me for even thinking it. But somehow you did it. You got past city limits. You escaped. And now I'm here alone, wondering if I can do the same without you. Whatever happens, one way or another, I'll see you on the other side. Okay, we can jump. This is using a free first-person asset called the FPS All-in-One. And then we used GIMP. We used free assets to, like, I de-resed, in using GIMP, I de-resed the grass to give it that pixelated look. And then this is kind of a modified free asset. I think, actually, I'm going to be honest, I think this is an ATM. Like, you know, device at the bank you get money out of. Yeah, did like the sun flare, using post-processing to make it look nice. And in the course, I talk about like brainstorming and everything. But I also talk about how to set the mood using as few resources as possible. And it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. So here we go. Like, you just hear the sounds of the trees. You hear the wind. It's very atmospheric. It kind of sets the mood already. It looks kind of lonely, but beautiful. It's melancholy. So let's how do you set the mood? How do you like really set the tone? Well, you do that a lot through music, right? And so here, let's turn this off. This is all done in Playmaker, by the way. But in the course, you can use Bolt, or the visual scripting that comes with Unity, or C#. I include the scripts. So you press on it, and then, oh, you hear that? Got the music. And again, this music is by, I think it's Chris Zabriskie, and he's this amazingly talented musician, composer, and he puts all of his music for free with a Creative Commons license. And that's stuff you can use for your game. You can sell this game with his music. In fact, he would encourage it. He just requests credit, so we have to attribute all these Creative Commons artists and stuff. Oh, I'm like floating. There we go. I just love this song, and the song like really ramps up. And then later, which maybe I'll talk about in a bit, we have enemies, and they stalk you, and they're searching for you at all times. And you can add as much stuff as you want. Like in the course, we talk about adding your own touches. And some people have like made a game that's like takes place on Mars. They're like a lost astronaut, kind of like The Martian and stuff. And it's cool, like you can add your own touches and do your own voice acting. If you heard from the beginning, that was me. And I did the voice acting just using the iPhone microphone to do it low budget, not using like expensive condenser microphone like this, but you know, getting scrappy, because that's the best part about indie games is like you get scrappy and you can't afford to hire a voice actor, so you do the voice acting and you use your phone and use the microphone on your phone so that you can record dialogue and put it in your game, and then you use all these free tools like GIMP and Unity and stuff like that. Anyway, that's just like a little sneak peek of this game, which I called Abdication, which isn't available. Like you can play the game on like as a student, but it's not like officially released. I could if I wanted, but it's still like it needs, like I would want to add more like voiceovers. Like if you went over here and there's like abandoned you know, like deserted homes and stuff. I kind of got this idea from Attack on Titan. Do you guys like that show? And I love that when one of the walls fall and the Titans have taken over all that like huge grassland, all those fields. There's like abandoned houses in the middle of everything, and it's just kind of sad. It's like I wanted to make this dystopian, right? So I was like, what happened? Like something happened here, maybe over the course of hundreds of years, and it's like all this place is abandoned, but there's a big city out here. It kind of also took inspiration from Half-Life 2, and then what else? Took inspiration from Tales from the Loop on Amazon. And that's such an important part of game development, right? Like you take bits and pieces of things that you're inspired by and you add your own twist, and you combine unlike things, like dissimilar things, to make a totally brand new thing that still like is familiar to people. So yeah. Looks like The Long Dark. Oh yeah, I love that game. I was playing that recently on Switch. That's a good game. So you guys are asking if I made this in 7 days, and you know, I did make the lesson plans, and so like I came up with the idea so that it would help you guys do it in 7 days. But like I did like the lessons, like I would do like, okay, I'm gonna work on this lesson. So yeah, I don't know why I'm overcomplicating it. Yes, I made this in 7 days. I did like polish things up and I made a lesson plan and everything. But we have lots of people who have followed the lesson plans and they made a game in 7 days. And you get homework assignments and everything and challenge slides to help you learn and stuff. So that's cool. Juicebox says they like the Skybox. Thank you. And again, it's like you take a free Skybox. Here, let's take a look at it real quick. I love this stuff. It's so much fun. So you take this Skybox material, and you can see it right. Actually, is my face in the way? Hold on a sec. Here's this. You can see this, right? And then I take the cube map, which is an XDR image, and I set it to 128. Like here, normally you have like the filter mode on bilinear. So if you were to do that, that makes it blurry. See that? I don't know if you can tell with the compression on YouTube. But if you do point no filter, it gives it that pixelated PlayStation look, and then you just de-res it. You just literally take down the size. Here's what it looks like full res. It's gonna look, it's gonna look like a photorealistic, and that looks, that looks okay. But your job as a game developer is to like bring all these different aspects together and to unify a cohesive look. Because people don't care that you use assets, really. What they do care about is if like there's conflicting like art styles. Like if there's like a cartoon, and then you have like a cartoonish 2D character, but then it's like in a beautiful photorealistic 3D environment. That's not going to work unless you put a lot of work into it, like to make it like this unique art style. So anyway, yeah, let's just take it down to 64 like pixels, 64 by 64. And to me, I saw that, I was like, okay, that's a little too much. Like maybe that works, but then I settled on 128, and I thought that looks pretty cool. Yeah, I love that stuff, experimenting and just seeing what works and everything. So anyway, yeah, so this is kind of like the Unity project that I made to help teach you guys, and this was for a game called Abdication. And there is an ending. There's a beginning, middle, end. You heard my voiceover at the beginning. You're in like in this in like this, I don't know, I kind of like take nods from Blade Runner, and it's like dystopian sci-fi world, and basically like your loved one, like I guess like your wife or your girlfriend in this story has escaped this dystopian city, this tyrannical city with this evil government rule. I don't know. And but you were too scared to follow her. You were too scared to like go find her and follow her back to like, like to a refuge. And so this is your chance to like make things right, where you're like, I'm sorry, I was too scared to follow you, but I'm gonna find you. So the question is, can you deactivate the 5 terminals to lower the security force field around the city and escape in time, or will you not make it? And that's kind of the story we talk about. Yeah, Jonathan loves Blade Runner. I love it too. I need to see the sequel because I love that director, Denis Villeneuve. Is that how you say it? I love Dune and I loved Arrival and stuff, and he did Blade Runner, which is awesome. Love his like his visual language in all of his movies. Yeah. So I hope you guys thinking this is cool. Yeah, let me show you like guys the videos and stuff a little bit. Oh shoot, I got it. Oh wait, no, here it is. Okay, we're still here on my desktop. So yeah, you get like some bonuses, you get worksheets, you get workbooks, you get some gifts, which I won't talk about yet. You'll have to check out the page. See that sales tactic. Yeah, you get some bonuses. And what else? Like I said, I'm still experimenting with like a slow rollout and trying to find new people who might be interested in game development through ads. And so I am opening this enrollment to everyone publicly on YouTube, but then I'll probably close it and keep fine-tuning stuff. So this week, or maybe like by Cyber Monday, you won't be able to enroll anymore. It will be gone. Maybe you'll find it later, like if you run across an ad or something, but I'll close the original shop page. So we'd love to have you. And it's also going to be a really low introductory price. And this will help me, this is great because it helps me fund my next game, which I told you about earlier. Like I'm so excited for my next game. And I'm taking a risk, and it's an artistic risk, but I'm so excited to release it. And it's hard out there for indie games. Like people who've released super successful million unit selling games, their second games flop. And that's just kind of the nature of games and a lot of artistic fields. Is like we're kind of in a hit driven industry. So it's just hard to say what will be the next hit. But I do think what's important is being authentic to yourself and making art that you're proud of. And I'm really excited to make this game. And I spent years working on Game Dev Unlocked, and I don't want it to like get forgotten. So because I do think it's helped a lot of people, and we'd love to have you join, if not the full course, which I know is expensive. We'd love to have you join the mini course, which is not expensive. But we'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah, let me show you some of the videos that you kind of get for joining this mini course, if this works. Oh wait, is that muted? Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, you kind of get like a beginner's crash course on like what are all the game engines out there and everything. And then getting started. Oh, let's talk about brainstorming. This is so the 7-day game launch challenge. We talk a lot about how to gain inspiration, and we talk about one of my favorite concept art. He's not a concept art. He's like an artist. His name's Simon Stollenhag. And he inspired the show Tales from the Loop, which is this amazing, beautiful, again, like kind of like this ancient sci-fi, but it takes place like in the 50s or something. It's hard to describe. And we gain inspiration from other things, but that's important. We've used that to fill out a workbook on how to come up with the perfect game idea that you're passionate about, but also something that could sell, something that's like, people are excited to play. Because that's the huge, I don't know how to tell people this, and I'm not trying to be mean, but people are like, oh my goodness, I have the perfect game idea. And it's literally just a Super Meat Boy clone. You know what I mean? It's just a 2D platformer. And we have so many games out there. It needs to be a little more unique than that. And my big theory is that you're not a huge team. You're not Naughty Dog. You can't make these giant games with amazing gameplay. And I know that's the desire. People are like, I want to make my own Fallout game. Like, okay, like put that aside. Put that aside for now. What you can do that's very possible, and that's something that people really want to play, is they want to play games with heart, and they want to play games that take a risk, because you're not a AAA developer. You can do weird things and people will find that interesting. And sometimes that means telling a story or doing a really weird gameplay mechanic. Do you know what I mean? Especially as a solo developer and you're not hiring a team of developers, like you have to get scrappy, like I said. And so one way to do that is to study what's popular, what people are playing, and then try to make something that you're passionate about, but that other people are passionate about too. So we talk about, like, we take inspiration from The Last Night, which is, this game looks awesome. And it has like that pixelated but polished high fidelity 3D look, but it's all pixel art or something. If you guys haven't seen this trailer, you should. And then we play small games on itch, which is incredibly helpful research. And then you fill out the workbook. We talk about that. And yeah, that's like kind of lesson 1. And then we talk about using the asset store and going first person lover asset. I remember that. We find like the good ones. I show you guys how to like find assets that are free and ones that can really help you out. And we talk about setting up a Unity project. Here's those sci-fi buildings. Remember that? Yeah, there's the skybox. And then we do the workbooks to help people get used to that. You fill out the PDF and get homework and everything. Oh no, I got out of it. Shoot. Sorry, guys. VLC doesn't come up. I'll just show you a little bit. I'll show you the visual design video. And then I talk about color theory. And what's important is I don't think people realize how important it is for your game to be visually striking. Because remember, we've talked about this. There's tons of competition. And you have these artists they've done art for 20 years. And I'm not saying you have to do that, but just knowing the principles and using the same tools that these artists use, they can help you. They can give you like a head start with making like this striking color palette that, like, if people are scrolling through social media and they're like, okay, I'm bored, I need a dopamine hit or whatever, they'll see like this beautiful image. Like, imagine a game that kind of looks like this right here, or this organic, like, green brown jungle look or something. You know what I mean? Like it grabs people's attention, and it's beautiful, and it gets people excited about this world that they want to inhabit that you've created, right? Anyway, I'm not going to go through every single video. I'm sorry if this is boring, but there's so much to learn, and I try to keep it all in one compact, convenient location so that people can get inspired and they can finish a game without losing motivation. Because that's what I see. I'm telling you guys, like, for years I've gotten thousands of emails and messages and DMs, and it's always the same thing. Like, how do I finish a game? Like, I get bored. It's just too hard to do this. I get it's too hard and I give up and it's not fun anymore, and then I make it start on a new game, and then by the time you know it, you have 10 game projects and none of them are finished. And it's important to finish things, and that's what can set you apart. And even if it's not perfect, learning to let go and release something that isn't perfect but is meaningful to you. And that's what the first tree was. People say, I saw one of the comments right when I logged on. The first thing was like, you can't make a game in 7 days that's good, and it's just no one's going to want to play it. And I disagree with that, because just telling the smallest, simplest story with heart, something that's authentic to you, people want that. Like, we're in this world where people want connections, and that's what the first tree was. It is not a perfect game. It's flawed in so many ways. I don't read the reviews anymore, but there was a time right when the game came out, I read every review. And I agreed with all like the criticism. Like, it was bad camera, animations were bad. But like it has a positive review to this day, and it's because like the story connected with people, and because it was this authentic thing. Like, I was very vulnerably, like, I acted in it. I did the voice acting for it. I talked about, it was fictional, but it was also autobiographical. I talk about my dad dying, and I put all those feelings I had into a game, and it impacted millions of people. Like, millions of people have redeemed the game at least at one point, whether like they bought it or they got it for free on the Epic Game Store. So it's just like, people want those conversations, and I'm not saying it has to be in this emotional game every time, because sometimes your authentic self is like, you're goofy and you want to make a really funny comedy game, or you want to make something that's you want to make, I don't know what, just something that's true to yourself, right? So my game was flawed, but it still connected with people. And that's what I want the world to do. I want people to be able to finish stories so they can share them with the world. And that's how you make an impact, right? Yeah, let me just show you real quick. Yeah, we use GIMP because that was a big request people had in Game Dev Unlocked. When I started Game Dev Unlocked, I'm like, okay, game developers, they pay for assets, they pay for tools. That's what we'll do. But then I had all these people, they would buy the course and be like, I'm not paying for Photoshop. I'm not going to buy this $100 3D model. And I was like, okay, that's a good point. So then I decided to do this 7-day game launch section just using free assets and free tools. And that includes GIMP. GIMP is free. That includes, I think I use Blender and other parts of the course. I don't know if I use Blender in this section, just so you know. But what I'm saying is there's awesome open source tools out there. You know what I mean? And then we talk about how to modify like the tree assets. We talk about, like color palettes and organizing them. I talk about the difference between transparency and alpha channels and all this stuff. And I'm just scrubbing through it real quick, but we talk about post-processing. That's by far like the biggest thing people leave out. Post-processing is such a cheat code for making your game look good. Color correction, bloom, we add fog. And we add snow. Yeah, I show you how to set up a snow, like custom-made snow particle thing, and give it that low poly, that like pixelated look. I talk about how to find free sounds. Like these are sounds listed under attribution license and everything. And oh yeah, there's bugs. I think I'll play this part for you. I was like, okay guys, this is it. This is the first time I'm gonna play my game. Like, I've been working on it for like an hour or two. And this is what happens. Okay, you ready for this? Here it comes. An hour of work for this. Oh, what the? I'm moving my mouse and I'm going like 1,000,000 miles per hour. Welcome to game development, folks. Welcome to game development, folks. I leave the errors in because I wanted to show you guys what it's actually like to make a game where you make stupid mistakes and you figure it out. I'd moved the camera from the first-person controller instead of the first-person controller. The camera was a child of that parent, so that way, like, I'm rotating like seriously like 100, like a 10-mile radius around the player and stuff. But yeah, we fix it and stuff. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, that's kind of a little sneak preview. And yeah, so I'm here just to hang out and talk. And I guess I could actually, how about I'll get the video, the pitch video out of the way, and I'll give you guys a coupon code, and then I can just chat for an hour. Does that sound fun? I can answer questions. And then, yeah, I got to go probably in an hour. I'm going to pick up my daughter from kindergarten. But yeah, thanks. I was trying to talk a lot about the course and everything, but thanks. I haven't read the chat yet, but I will for the next while. Um, yeah, let me. I'll answer your questions. Then how about I show you guys a little trailer, okay? And then I will post the link, and we'd love to have you join the 7-day game launch challenge. All right, let's try this. Instead of building the typical tutorial game, what if you created a thrilling sci-fi adventure in only 7 days and shared it with the world? Better yet, you only used free tools with no coding or artistic knowledge required. That's why I made the 7-day game launch challenge, a course on finishing a beautiful 3D game and adding your own story and creative touches along the way. For a long time, I didn't know where to start with game development, so I never released anything. But when I figured out some key concepts for finishing compelling games fast, that's when I unlocked my entire career. I'll never forget the first time a streamer played my game, and that's an experience I want you to have too. In this course, you'll learn every principle needed to start, finish, and publish your game, all in 7 days. You'll also get exclusive discounts and workbooks, and there's 2 special gifts you'll receive if you buy today, all for only $17. So if you're ready to share your game with the world, then click below. Cool. Thanks for watching that. I'll put the link in the chat window, and I just put it in the description. Hopefully the description updated. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, did it update the description? We'd love to have you, and I'll be closing enrollment probably early, like after Cyber Monday or something. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching that, and I appreciate it. It's already helped hundreds of people, which I'm honored. And I wanted to share it with the whole world instead of keeping it behind, closed doors with the newsletter and everything. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. I've been fine-tuning the online course, the full online course, which I'm almost done with. We're going to be adding a beautiful new Unreal Engine section where we make a game similar to the Talos principle. And that's going to be like tons of high-quality tutorials on how to master Unreal Engine 5. I've added a mobile section on how to get featured by Apple, which is what I did with the first tree, and how to port and make a game that works on touch devices. Yeah, it's like 150 plus videos, 40 plus hours of content that I've worked really hard over the past 3 years, and it's almost done. And so yeah, we'd love to have you join the full course, and if you're not interested in that, we'd love to have you join the mini course, the 7-day game launch challenge. And yeah, you get some bonuses too, so check out the page, you get some free gifts and everything. And that's it. Okay, I'm done. That was my Black Friday spiel. Actually, I was thinking of doing a live stream I've wanted to do for literally a year now, but I haven't had time. I think on Monday, and I'll promote the course one more time. I wanted my wife, Elise, she voices Rachel in the first tree. She wanted to do this. This has kind of been her idea. She wants to look at popular GIFs or GIFs of games like that hit the front page of Reddit, or the ones that go viral, or the ones that fail, like the games that supposedly like should be doing well but they aren't. And she wants to do like a critique, because my wife is an artist. She's a full-time visual artist. She did years and years of schooling, and she knows everything about composition and color and knows more than I do. So it'd be cool to like get like an artist's eye on your games, for instance. Like maybe you could have like send your like links to your Steam pages or something, and ask, hey, how can the graphics be more striking? How can they grab people's eyes better? And I was thinking of like just going through like, I don't know, look at 30 GIFs of games and seeing why that game did well on social media or why it didn't. But anyway, I might do that Monday. And then the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale will be over. This is all Unity, by the way. I'm seeing your questions. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for buying. That means a lot. Yes, it's all Unity. And also, here's the important thing. The core tutorials are in Playmaker because, again, I made these tutorials to appeal to people who are overwhelmed by programming, because it's a lot to learn. And so I focus on Playmaker, which is a paid asset, but you get a discount code for Playmaker in the course. But if you don't want to use Playmaker, there are C# scripts, which I explain how to put those in. And then you can use the free visual scripting tool that Unity just bought, formerly known as Bolt. There are Bolt macros you can use in your project. So you can make your game for totally free. You don't have to spend on outside assets, you don't have to spend $1, and that was kind of the intention. Because I think for Home is Where One Starts, I made Home is Where One Starts, and again, that was like Home is Where One Starts. I tried to spend as like I was a poor college student, or I just graduated college. We had no money, and I wanted to spend as little money as possible. And I have this vivid memory of there was a bathroom 3D model set that went on sale on a Unity asset store, and I was like, "Can I afford this? It's $10. Can I afford this?" So I don't want people to feel like that when they're making their first game. Just use free assets, because it is possible. It is nice. Like, I love buying assets, especially the high quality ones, and I love supporting those artists. But I understand people are on a budget, and that's why I made the 7-day game launch the way I made it. Okay, cool. Nate says, can you use Playmaker to make a visual novel style game? Absolutely. You can do anything in C# that you can do with Playmaker, and you can do anything in Playmaker that you can do with C#. There are awesome Unity. I would definitely go to the Unity asset store and look for a visual novel template. And those, I think that might be $50 to $100. And that does everything for you. Like, you just have to put in your story, get your art, and then you could totally make a visual novel. And that's probably what I would recommend. You could do it in Playmaker, but these like templates are so ready to go on Unity asset store. I love it. You do have to, like, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because you have to make your art and put your touch like we've been talking about. But yeah, I'm going to take these off. How do I look? Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I want to hang out with you guys. I showed you guys a little bit. Oh, I guess and I want to answer your questions too. We do show you how to make an enemy too. And again, it's done in Playmaker. So like where is he? So again, we get this volumetric light asset for free, and I show you how to make a very simple artificial intelligence. And this is kind of what Playmaker looks like. Like, you kind of set up, you use nav mesh, which is a Unity feature, and you tell this humanoid to follow you, which is the first person AIO, which is the all-in-one first person thing. You set his speed, and then you play his animation, like right here, which says, walk towards the player. And then when you get close enough, he runs after you. And it's supposed to be freaky. Like, this thing is stalking you, and then when it gets close, it starts running at you like full speed. And then like you hear these creepy static like static sounds and stuff. Sorry if this is a spoiler. I figure, I don't know if you guys want to play this game. You could play it. I think it's available in the full GDU course, but don't buy that just to play this game. But yeah, we talk about AI. We talk about creating cinematics. It's all here. We finished the game in 7 days, which is pretty fun. Okay, I'm here to talk to you guys. Nocturnal says, just wanted to get your opinion on something. A YouTuber does game dev live streams, but he keeps saying, yeah, we will do that to every idea. Isn't this misleading? A YouTuber does game dev. Is this somebody else? I don't know. Like, misleading. It's his live stream. I try to like not make promises that I can't keep, and I try to be transparent even when it's like selling an online course. But I don't know. That seems like a loaded question. Like, I guess it's misleading, right? Ariel says, David, is there any way to prototype the story? How do you collect information to know if the story is good enough, or if it's too confusing, not interesting enough? That's a good question, and we talk about that on day 1. We talk about how people spend decades learning how to become a writer and to like write good stories. But again, I don't think it's as complicated as we need it to be, or we make it out to be. Just honestly, just taking inspiration, like taking bits and pieces from yourself and then consuming stories. Like, you have to play games and you have to watch movies and watch really good TV shows. And instead of just kind of vegging out and just like letting it wash over you, like, take an analytical eye to these story beats. Like, ask yourself, why is Walter White? Why is he so likable at the beginning of the show? Like, ask yourself, well, why do we like him so much? And it's because like this, we have this human need to like connect with people, and we see him struggling, so we connect with Walter White from Breaking Bad. And then down, we watch the rest of the show, and crazier things happen. And then before you know it, it's like, oh, this person's different than how I knew him at the beginning of the show. But a lot of people, they're not like analyzing it like that. Pixar has like a huge list. I wonder if I can find it. Basically, my big thing of advice is to watch lots of shows and consume lots of stories. And then as a thought exercise, combine maybe a couple of those things and that are kind of different and see what happens in your head. And in the course, there's like a workbook to help you come up with those ideas to brainstorm. And then, hold on, steps of storytelling. I love this list from Pixar. Yeah, all right, this is cool. The Pixar storytelling formula. This is how it works. Each sentence begins with a few words followed by a blank space to be filled in by the storyteller. Once upon a time, there was blank. Every day, blank. One day, blank. Because of that, blank. Because of that, blank. Because of that, blank. Until finally, blank. And then ever since then, blank. That's the end of the story. And it's, I don't know, it's fill in the blanks. Like put what's something in your life that you're passionate about and that you could talk about. So here, I'll post this in the chat. I love Pixar's approach to storytelling, and they're like the best, right? Jonathan says, Pixar's formula is so good. Their movies make me cry every time. They're so good. I heard the craziest thing. Sorry, this fact blew my mind. I think I read it on Reddit. Coco. I love that movie. And China is famously against ever releasing films with any kinds of ghosts or spirits in them. It's against the law. So you can't release any game or movie or anything that has ghosts in it. But the movie board, the censoring board in China was so moved by Coco that it's the only film allowed in the country that has ghosts in it. And I thought that was pretty amazing. Oh, Irianity. No. Yeah, I don't want you don't have, that's just an optional upgrade to, you get a Black Friday deal. You just say at the bottom, it says, no, skip this step. You don't have to buy that. That's just an optional upgrade with the Black Friday deal. But yeah, you've been you've gotten the product. You're good. I think if you check your email, you'll have the 7-day game launch in your inbox. But yeah, let me know if you have any problems, any of you, if there's checkout problems. And then me and we have Melanie Arcania, our moderator and community manager. She helps a lot too, which is awesome. So we'll make sure everyone's happy if you bought the course. Laporta D says, good work. Also, have you thought about making a side-scrolling fighter? Did you know C# before making this game? Thank you. Thanks for watching. I don't like fighters that much. I've tried. Like, I played Soul Calibur back in the day, and I really like Smash Brothers. I'm obsessed with Smash Bros. But I don't know. That's not my kind of game. And then C#, I'm really bad at C#. I use Playmaker to make my games, which is like visual scripting, which is crazy to people, but it's true. People don't believe me, but I'm telling you, like, yeah, like I like write, like I can replace a few lines of code, but I don't use C# in my first 2 games, and I'll probably still use Playmaker for my 3rd game, actually. But that's just me, and I'm more like, I'm just not engineer minded. I don't know. It's just memorizing syntax and stuff. It's hard for me and for my brain. But some people are really good at it, which is cool. Jason Story, who's part of GDU. Thanks, Jason, for being here. 2 other similar things to look into are the but and therefore rule and the story circle. I think I've heard of the but and therefore rule. I swear, like, I watched a video with like the South Park writers, Matt and Trey, I guess. Is that their names? And they talk about that, where instead of like when you say a story, it's like, and then this happened, and then this happens. But then you say instead, like with your plot development, you say, this happened, therefore this happened, therefore this happened. And that's like, it makes the plot more meaningful. Like the actions of the characters matter more, which is pretty cool. Alex S says, sorry, send your question again. How many people we got here? Yeah, I'm trying my best to answer questions, and I'll hang out for a bit. 140 people. Thanks for watching, guys. This is awesome. What else we got here? Oh, George says, is there any difference between the 7-day module from the full course or the mini course? No, they're the same. Yeah, the 7-day game launch is included in the full course, but they're the same for the most part. Yeah, I think there's like some things I changed, but they're really small, and you get the same scripts and the same assets. So, yeah. And of course, I've put 3 years of my life into the full course, and we got the Unreal Engine section coming out, which is going to be super high quality. And you can learn Unreal Engine 5 with Lumen and all these cool features, and the Quixel, like the Quixel library, which is all those photorealistic free assets you can use for your game. And that comes out in a couple weeks. And yeah, we'd love to have you join whatever you want. But we have a lot of happy people who love the full course, and it's been awesome seeing people succeed. And yeah, we just had one of our students released on Switch a few days ago, which is awesome. One of our students got a job at Apple, and he said that his portfolio with the stuff he made in GDU helped him get the job, which I was honored to hear that. And I'm not going to take full credit. That student's really talented and a hard worker. But it's cool that the material can help people, and I'm confident you guys would like it too. Jason says, as someone who recently started his own YouTube channel, I'm curious what you edit in, your camera lens choice and your lighting setup. Yeah, I've been doing video stuff longer than I've done game stuff by a large margin. Like when I was 12, that's when I was making short films with these really old mini DV cameras. I've used almost every video editing software out there. I've used I've used Avid for like Hollywood productions. I use Adobe Suite for editing, and I use After Effects for motion graphics. I use Premiere, the Premiere for editing. I use Sony DSLR cameras. Right now I'm using the A7C as my camera on the computer, and then I'm using these aperture lights. And if you're wondering, Jason, I know you're part of the course, and in the appendix I have a section all for how to recreate this look, like with the lights and product links and the cameras I use. Check in the appendix, and I talk about how to like create devlog videos for YouTube, and I talk about all the equipment there too. So I hope that helps. Thanks guys for buying. You're saying you bought it, and that means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Ben says, thanks for all the Jedi Knight mods. Man, it blows my mind that it's been like 20 years and people can mention my Jedi Knight mods. That means the world to me. Thank you. I think they're still available on Mazassi.net. I love Jedi Knight Dark Forces too. This is great. Star Shadow says, you're my credits for my first game that's on itch. Thank you. Yeah, if you post the title, maybe I can check it out. That'd be awesome. Nate says, what's the difference between the $17 deal and the full unlocked course? The $17 deal is just for the 7-day game launch challenge, the section. And the full course, you get that, plus you get, on the website, like when you purchase, it will give you an optional upgrade choice, which you can say no to, of course. And it goes through all the stuff you get. But basically, I don't know, you get like 30 plus hours of content. It shows you how to market, how to get on consoles, how to publish on mobile and get featured on the App Store. Talk about how to not lose motivation. That's a whole section in the course. We talk about brainstorming, getting the perfect idea for your game. Talk about how to make your very first game in 5 minutes. We talk about how to make a game like The First Tree. That's the advanced section. That's the one I really put a ton of time into. And I show you how to do Steam achievements and how to publish on Steam, how to make capsule art, how to edit a trailer. Like, it's all there. Like, I brain dumped every single thing I learned from The First Tree into Game Dev Unlocked. So yeah, that's kind of the difference. There's a lot of stuff in there, and you get like free Steam keys. You get 8 games, which I think there's only like 40 left. And then I won't be buying new Steam keys as a bonus. That promotion will be over. So if there's 40 Steam, there's 40 seats of people who will get 5 additional Steam games, which is pretty cool. And then you get Adobe Cloud discount for like student discount, and you get You get Maya, you get Autodesk software, you get educational free software from Autodesk like Maya and 3ds Max or whatever. There's a lot of stuff. I've worked on it a long time, and I think it's almost complete is what I'm saying. And there's like an appendix. You get private Q&As with me. All that stuff. We'd love to have you join the full course. But the mini course is for people who want to just dip their toes in. And you can upgrade later, by the way. This is great. And thanks, guys, for buying it. Sir Droy says, not sure how much creative I can get with genre choice. And, we talk about, there's a reason we chose the first person exploration. And it's like, you could like add weapons, I guess, if you want. That might make it too complicated because the goal is to make something that people want to play, which we do the research, and we look at other games that are similar to the game we make in the 7-day game launch challenge. And so it's all intentional. And I know like people, they want to be like, no, I want to make a racing game, or I want to make a side scroller and fighting game like Soul Calibur or whatever. And that's just, you got to keep it small. And this is a game we talk about how to pick the right game that's easy to make, and we do research on itch.io and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of a walking simulator, but it's also like it has horror game elements, and those are very popular. So yeah, that's the reasoning behind that. Thank you. Glad you guys like my ambient lighting. Yeah, I'm a filmmaking nerd, so I bought the nice softbox light, and I have the nice cameras, and I love it. And that was like, I started the YouTube channel because I love filmmaking, right? Like that was like my first job really was video editing. I've been doing that for a long time. This game stuff wasn't really in the cards. In fact, I got inspired. One of the reasons I got inspired to make my game was I went to the Sundance Film Festival. Again, film festival, and it's in Park City, Utah, close to where I live. And that's where I saw Indie Game the movie with Jonathan Blow and like Team Meats and all those guys. And Jonathan Blow was at the film premiere too, doing Q&A, and that was really inspiring. And that was something Jonathan Blow said after the movie was over. He said, like, someone asked a question, was like, what do you tell to people who like haven't made their game yet, and like what they're losing, and they're losing, they're losing motivation. And Jonathan Blow just said, finish your game no matter what. And again, that was something that stuck to me, that like resonated in my heart too. And that's why, again, like Game Dev Unlocked is about finishing a game. Even if it's like a smaller game, like that's okay. It's okay. Your bigger games, your more in-depth games will come later, I promise. But you do have to start somewhere. And finishing and releasing something is huge. It's like a psychological hack. It's a brain hack, for real. And if it means finishing a game in 7 days with help of a course or not, like doing it on your own, that's fine too. All right. Alex said, please answer my question. Just before our stream, I bought Thomas's course. Oh, yes. And I mentioned this at the beginning. Maybe you guys missed it. The 7-day game launch material is in Thomas Brush's full-time game dev. And if you didn't know that and you bought it, just email me and we'll work it out. I'll make sure you guys, everyone's happy with their purchase. But yeah, if you guys are part of full-time game dev, you have this material already. I wonder how much. I bet there's a big crossover of full-time game dev and GDU students, which is awesome. So yeah. Oh, and then you asked, any chance you'll do more crossovers with him? I buy both, but the price is too much. That's okay. No, thanks for being supportive, Alex. And if you are part of Thomas's course and you bought the 7-day game launch, just email me and we'll take care of it. Hopefully that makes sense. Cool. All right. What do you guys want to talk about? I'm just going down the chat. Sorry if I missed your questions. But we got 140 people. That's awesome. I love live streaming. And a part of me, like, I'm kind of burnt out of trying to chase the YouTube algorithm. That really killed me the past year. But sometimes I wonder, like, if I'm playing like a cool indie game, if I should just do like a stream of me playing it. Would you guys care? Like, be honest. Like, would you be like, oh, he's just playing an indie game? Or do you guys tune in because you want game dev advice? And I could chat. I don't mind chatting in the window if I'm playing Phasmophobia or something. But Would you guys watch if I played indie games and just enjoyed myself? Like I just was doing it for fun, like maybe playing Phasmophobia with my brothers or something. Let me know. Thanks, Thomas. Thomas is GDU student. You're the man. I appreciate your questions in the Q&As, Thomas. Good luck on your games. Star Shadow says, have you played Omno? Man, that's awesome you bring that up. I just started playing it with my kids because I got, okay, there's going to be like a flex, but I got an Xbox Series X somehow. My brother helped me get it without paying the big scalper prices. And yeah, what else? And we got Game Pass. That's what I meant to say. We got Game Pass on my Xbox Series X, and I love Omno. Like that game is that's like my game. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like a puzzle game because it is a puzzle game, but it doesn't explain things. It's not like a little tutorial thing saying you need to gather light for this. Like you have to figure it out. It's like a sandbox kind of experience where you're just messing around, but it's this beautiful world with the music and the volumetric light. I love Omno, and I look up to the developer too. He's a solo developer from Germany, I think, and he really worked hard on it for several years, and he used Reddit, kind of similar to what I did. He did posts on Reddit, and it exploded. I don't think anyone really knows how much money a developer gets for an Xbox Game Pass deal, but it probably was a huge bag of money, so I'm happy for him, and I hope he keeps making games, for sure. I love Omno. Yeah, so what else we got here? Jason's the course guru. Yeah, there's lots of cool courses. I love Thomas Brush's course. I haven't tried any of the other ones. I did buy a few Udemy Unreal courses because I've been learning Unreal, which has been great. And I personally, so I actually teamed up with Unreal Sensei, who does the excellent Unreal Masterclass, and he does like the most popular Unreal Engine 5 tutorials on YouTube. And we talked and we worked together to make this new curriculum for GDU and the Unreal Masterclass, which is the new Unreal section I was talking to you guys about. And it's really cool. I'm excited. Jake says, I love you. Thank you. I don't know you, but the feeling is probably mutual if you're a good person. Why not both? Having fun is important. It makes for a genuine experience. That's interesting. I've been wanting to play Phasmophobia and live stream it, and I was wondering if people would even watch. Because I love that game just from a developer's perspective. So I was thinking of like talking about the development like tidbits and like trivia I've learned about Phasmophobia, and then maybe playing other indie games and just streaming it and hanging out. So that's I'm curious about that. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Fijao Kompao Peo. I'm sorry. What do you think about Death Stranding? I loved Death Stranding. I really did. Like felt like that was a game made for me. It was so like the music, like I loved like a lot of those bands I had heard before, and so to hear them in this video game, and like the text pops up as you're walking, then the rain starts falling down. And I didn't mind like the balancing mechanic and being like, oh, if I can just put this one more like package on my back, but it makes it really hard to walk around, like, but then it's like, oh, but then I'll get these extra points. It reminded me of one of my favorite indie games, Miasmata, which is where like a really difficult walking on ground mechanic, where it's like if you just go down a small little hill, you tumble and it like cuts your health in half and all this stuff, because you play as a sick scientist trying to create a cure on this tropical island while you're hunted by a really scary creature. It's kind of scary, but it, like the feeling of it stalking you is very scary. I love Miasmata. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And I love Death Stranding. Love the music. I do think the story can get kind of... And it is fun, like, going like into this world, right? Like, of Death Stranding. And you just get lost in it. But sometimes it is funny when I'm thinking about, my name is Hartman. I have a bad heart. I am also emotional. And my name is Fragile, and I am fragile. And it's like, I don't know. That sometimes it's too on the nose. I don't know. Maybe a lot of Japanese storytellers do that too. Because I just started watching Demon Slayer, the anime. And I love anime. I do. not, I'm not like a hardcore anime fanatic, but sometimes anime has this habit of like just explaining everything, like nothing subtle. It's like just puts it all in your face like that. You know what I mean? And other times it is like it's really beautiful and sublime and subtle and poignant. And other times it's like it just cracks me up, if that makes sense. And maybe it is like maybe it's a language translation thing. But I'd love Death Stranding, and yeah, Mr. Baggins. I think I agree. Like, great experience. The story needed a bit of work, but it was like, I don't know, like that. It had the emotional beats. Just sometimes like talking to the characters, it'd be kind of like silly. Like just the dialogue. I don't know. But yeah, I still think it's genius. I love Death Stranding, and I really like. At first, I wasn't loving Demon Slayer, but now I really like it a lot. By the end of the season, I thought it was excellent. Hamed says, did you play Pinstripe? Yes, I love Pinstripe, and Thomas is one of my friends, and yeah, I beat the whole thing, and it blows my mind how, like, everything was done by Thomas. Like, the music is really amazing, and all the graphics, and it's so, and like, a lot of gamers would say, oh, it's a short game, but like, I think about all the work he did on that for years and years, and I'm like, yeah, I can see why it took 5 years to make that. I love Pinstripe, and I didn't beat Neversong yet, but I love Neversong as well. I do love 3D games, so I know Thomas is working on Father, and I'm really, really excited to play that. I just love first-person games the most. I've always have, so I'm excited for that. Digit Alex says, hey, are you working on a game right now? Yes, and I've never been happier. I'm making this game for me. It's nothing like, well, yeah, it's not like the first tree at all. I've accepted the fact that maybe my next game won't be a huge success, and I'm okay with that now. And I'm excited to make something for me and to tell a story that I've been wanting to tell. And I've already got a prototype working, and I've gotten some of the features working. I don't want to spoil it. In fact, I'm thinking, so in the course, and this is still like advice I give all developers, I do think you should start promoting your game ASAP, as soon as possible. Like, truly, if you have something that's worth showing, then show it and post it with hashtags. Post it on Imager, maybe Reddit, on the smaller subreddits, definitely on Twitter with the right hashtags and all this stuff. But I'm kind of in a unique stage where, like, I feel like I can get a lot of momentum if I drop like a really polished trailer and then drop it closer, like I release that trailer closer to release, if that makes sense. I feel like that could help get momentum because I have been so silent about a new game for so long. I don't know. I already have like a following on Twitter. I already have an email newsletter list. I might wait to announce the game until I have a trailer so that I can really communicate what the game is about. I want to communicate what the vision I have to get people excited and get the hype train going. That's kind of my strategy, I think. I don't think I'll announce anything till I have a trailer, to be honest. And then I'll set up a Steam page and get the wish list and all that stuff. Is it action adventure? It's adventure. Yeah. And I think, I've mentioned before, it's a first-person game. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait. Like, I love work again. I love making games. I love telling stories. And I think I lost sight of that just because this online course, like, it really, like, sucked out my soul. Just, I didn't set boundaries. And it's been, and I don't want to make it sound that I haven't enjoyed the successes that my students have had or anything, but doing the YouTube plus mobile ports plus GDC plus all this stuff, it was too much. Because again, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I don't feel like I'm a content creator. I'm kind of done with it, to be honest. But I am passionate about telling stories and about sharing my games with the world. And so I'll keep doing that. Like, I'll keep doing that to promote my games. And effectively, like, this mini course, these funds I'll receive will help build my next game for sure. So that's why it's also important to me, if that makes sense. Great. George says, is your dev school a full-time gig now? 140 plus watching. I'm guessing a lot of people are signing up. We have time for anything else. Yeah, so I've worked on the online course since 2019. It's almost been 3 years, and I'm wrapping it up. Like I've added everything I ever wanted to make. The last big section I wanted to make was Unreal, which that's coming soon. I wanted to add a mobile section, which I just did because I got featured by Apple on the App Store several times. I wanted to show people how to do that. Like I did everything I've learned, even about consoles, like how I got on Switch and Xbox and PlayStation. I wanted to put this huge educational resource for people to use. And it's done. It's taken up a lot of my time, but I'm so excited to make a game again, a game for me. But I'm still like for the online course, I still do my Q&As. I do private Q&A streams with my students to help them with their games and everything. And we do game jams and stuff, but I'm getting help with that, which is awesome. We have a community manager and we have awesome students, and so it's really fun. I love seeing all the successes people are having on the Discord channel and everything. Vladimir says, "Can you please tell which consoles do you cover in your course?" Yeah, I share specific tips on how to get on each platform, like Xbox. Okay, technically, and there's NDAs involved. I can't talk about specifics of porting at all, not in the course, but I talk about everything to help you get started and to finish everything, if that makes sense. And that includes which porting studios to work with, tell you how to self-publish, how to get started with that, how to get accepted, because on Switch you still need to get approved by a Nintendo platform holder, and I talk about how to do that. But yeah, do I go into detail on how to port? No, because I didn't port the game. I hired Do Games to port the games to console, which I worked on, and I talk about that. But porting to consoles is hard because of all the non-disclosure agreements. So that's the reason behind that stuff. But is as much covered as I can possibly cover legally? Yes, definitely. Thank you guys for watching. Morgan McKell, my man. He's one of my good friends from high school. Thanks for watching, Morgan. I haven't done one of these in a while. Got my Black Friday sale. Morgan's like a digital marketing guy too. He's killing it here in Utah and Idaho, I think. Thanks for watching, Morgan. Hope you're doing well. What else we got here? How do you make animations for your game? And also the cutscene clip. Yeah, so the animations, again, I've talked a lot about using assets like wisely to save time. And so I would modify animations, and I would use Maya. I was paying for Maya LT, which is $30 a month. But I think Blender is so good now. You can do almost everything in Blender. I think even the animations, the only things you could lose is if someone gives you a Maya specific rig, and that's a problem. Like you need Maya then if you're making custom animations. And sometimes I would custom edit the animations inside Unity in the animation window, like for real. Like if it was like something simple. Sometimes it'd be something as simple like I wanted to turn the fox's head so it's like standing, but then like his head is turning left like that. And that you can do in Unity. You don't need to use Blender or Maya. You can just do it really fast, set in a keyframe. So yeah, that's what I did. I adjusted the digging animations that way in Unity. I adjusted the jump animations because, that can be your challenge as a game developer is you'll buy assets, but then you'll figure out something doesn't work. And you'll be like, oh, why isn't that not working? And you'll have to edit it. And there's not like an easy way to tell you like, yeah, you need to learn how to animate. Like that, those skills come over time. But yeah, you might have to learn some small skills, which you can start small. You can Google like how to do a jumping animation, and you can just do it slowly. But yeah, the more stuff you can get covered by with assets, the better. And then you can still modify them in important ways. And that will still take a lot of time for sure. Thank you for the donation, Beige. That's really amazing. Thank you for inspiring us and using lowercase noises in the first tree. Amazing touch. Thank you so much for the donation. That means a lot. Lowercase noises, I love their music. I think he's a solo ambient artist from New Mexico, I want to say. And I listened to his music a lot before I worked on the first tree. And right when I heard it from his EP, I was like, that needs to go near the ending of the game. And then I licensed another big indie song from a band I really liked it was from a band called Message to Bears. And that was the song You Are a Memory. And again, that was a monumental, it was pivotal for the game. And again, that was something my wife helped me with. We watched the music video, and like the music video for You Are a Memory like almost made my wife Elise cry. And it's such a beautiful song. And I knew, like, I heard the words, and I was like, this should be the ending of the game. And listening to music, like I've said, like, consuming media, like, it's important. Like, I think I love storytelling because I went to film school and I watched a million films. And not just, like, popcorn movies. Like, we watched lots of artsy, I guess you could say advanced films. And I grew to love it. I loved all these filmmaking techniques, these storytelling techniques. And it's those things I love that I try to put in my own work. And I would have never known I love that stuff if I didn't consume media. I didn't consume films and music and books. It's an important part of becoming a game developer. Or a storyteller, or a filmmaker, or a writer, or a songwriter. You know what I mean? Jake, you don't have to give me $500. But thanks for being here. But I'll say hi anyway. What is the discount? So normally it's like, I'm playing around with the idea of it being, like the normal Udemy price, which is $150. But this is like a first time opening up to everybody, and then I'll increase the price. And I'll probably stop enrollment as I polish stuff up. So it's $17 today. And so we'd love to have you join. And also you get a bonus, it's an optional upgrade, Black Friday offer to upgrade to the full course, which is much cheaper than it usually is. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Thanks for being here. Unai Sanchez says, which graphic table do you use? I sent you an email asking it today. My emails go a lot to Melanie now. And how personal should I get? Having a viral YouTube channel was a really cool thing, but it also revealed a lot of my weaknesses and my personality flaws. And making Game Dev Unlocked and going through the pandemic with kids and the stresses of having a business and the stresses of having hundreds of people email you asking for help and needing their fears, like assuring them that their fears aren't going to take over their life. It was a hard time for me. And so with the help of a mental therapist, the first time I went to a therapist, actually, I decided to stop being so accessible on the internet. And this is okay. Like, I'm happy to be here. And I do love helping you guys, but it's just, it can be a lot with so many emails. So I don't check email that much anymore. I do get help from Melanie, our community manager for GDU, and so she'll probably get your email, and then she'll probably help you. But yeah, to be totally honest, like I'm just trying to be real with you guys. Like, starting a business, doing this, quitting my job, like living the dream, becoming like a full-time indie game developer, get to do whatever you want. Oh, your YouTube channel went viral. You're so lucky. I'm telling you right now, like, I'm not even joking. Like, I was 100% happier when I was working on my game at night, and I had a full-time job. Like, that's the honest truth. And I know it's like a stupid, and maybe you don't understand it, but that was just me. Like that's what it worked out for me. So I'm doing better now. Like, I'm working on my game. I've set boundaries. I'm not as accessible now. I don't check Twitter anymore. I'm not on Twitter. That's been like one of the best things in my life, was getting off Twitter, not checking it every day. I strictly curate my Reddit feed. I only like subscribe to subreddits that really like are interesting or like elevate my life. And I focus more on my family, and I'm never been better. I'm doing great. But of course, with all that said, I love seeing people succeed. I love seeing new game developers make their games. And that's why it's been kind of like this weird tug of war internally with me. But I'm doing great. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Luke says, hi, David. Loving the look of your course. Think I'm going to buy it. I'm a film composer and also studying an MFA in game audio. Awesome. and recently started learning Unity as I want to make a game. Man, I just had lunch with it's a guy I didn't know. Actually, this was a long time ago. This is when like a lot of people were talking to me and texting me and sending me emails and wanting to meet up. I did meet with a composer, and he was friends. I swear, like he had like studied under Austin Wintory, who composed the music for Journey and Abzu and those games. And this was a student composer, and I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but he was a really nice guy. We had lunch together, and he was so excited because he's like, I want to make music, like I want to like make games and tell stories and be a filmmaker so I can share my music. And I'm like, that's such an amazing way to like share your music with the world, is like through games. And even like if you took risks too, like if you made your game, like your first few games, and you released them for free, you know how big of an audience would hear your music? Like I think that would be really rewarding. And I'm actually, this is crazy, I'm trying to do things that I want to do in my dream job. And I want to make music because I've written music my whole life, right? I didn't make the music for the first tree because I didn't have time. But I have all these ideas. I'm going to buy the MIDI keyboard. I'm going to start using, like, I don't have a Mac, like I'm on a PC, right? But I think I'm going to use, I think I would prefer Logic, is it called Logic Pro? Logic Pro X or whatever. I think I would prefer that on a Mac, but I don't have that. So I was going to use Studio One. Is that what it's called? PreSonus Studio One as the DAW. Is that what you call that? Maybe a music guy can correct me, but I think I'm going to use that, and I'm going to get a keyboard, and I'm going to try to write the music for my next game, which I'm in love with that idea. I'm really excited to do that. Yeah, Studio One. I've heard that one's good, and it's similar to Logic Pro, so I'm excited to learn that. I'm new to it. I'm brand new to it, but that's what I want to do. Like, what's the point of having a dream job if you're like not doing what you want to do? But at the same time, a dream job is still a job where you have to pay the bills, and that is the scary thing. It's been hard to come to terms with. Like I'm not kidding. The line between being in business and then making art that you're proud of, I don't know. I haven't figured it out really. But maybe there's a balance. And so I think this new game idea that I'm really excited about, it will be authentic, and it's something I want to make, but I also think I'm going to take a few risks that make it as accessible and easy, possibly easy to sell. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. It's a big experiment. Ryan says, finally caught a live stream. I love this course. Thank you so much. Wish it carried on. Are there any plans to continue outsourcing additional modules? Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for being part of the course. That means a lot. We got the Unreal Engine section, which you probably know about, and that was outsourced. I'm kind of done with it, to be honest, and I know I could outsource more, but, I'd have to find the right people who want to contribute, and I need to pay them, of course. And I don't know, what else I can talk about. I do the Q&As every month for students, and I go over every possible question, so all the answers are in the hours of private Q&As, and they can, you can replay them in the course. I do think if I do make new content, which I do want to, I was talking about how maybe on Monday I'll do an art critique with my wife, Elise. We'll look at indie game GIFs. I think I might just post them on YouTube. I don't know how much, I don't know how much more I'll add to the course, to be honest. I think we're getting close to everything I know. It's everything I've brain dumped. But thank you for being part of it. And if you have any ideas as a GDU student, please send it to me or Melanie. That'd be great. Let me make sure. Sorry if I'm missing your questions. Vasily says, sorry guys, I missed it. What is the discount for Playmaker? Playmaker is a big part of the 7-day game launch challenge. You don't need it because there's C# and Bolt scripts also available, which are free. But I love Playmaker. I think it's by far the best way to learn to ease into finishing a game. But maybe you are a C# expert, and then you won't need Playmaker or whatever. But if you're new, I highly recommend Playmaker, and I think you get a 25 or 30% discount in the 7-day game launch challenge, so you can buy it there. And I think it might, on Black Friday, I think it's cheaper right now on the Unity Asset Store. I think it's 50% off, which is awesome. But it's totally worth it. I love supporting them. Hopefully that makes sense. Jake says, what tips do you have for promoting my game for a kid? By the way, all my friends and I watch you. Thank you. I'm thinking of asking for your course for Christmas. Thanks, Jake. I appreciate that. So you're saying you have a game that's meant for kids? Okay, here's the honest truth. If you're making games for kids, then you need to get on Roblox, because there has never been an easier way to like make an experience than in Roblox for like a younger audience. And I don't know how many younger kids are like on itch.io playing indie games. Like of course there are. But, like I don't know, what did I see recently? Like Steam had something like it maxed out at like 120 million users, and then Roblox is almost to 200 million. Like, do you know how insane that is? Like Steam is still like so much smaller than Roblox, and that's where all the kids, those are like the future game developers, I think. They're on Roblox and they're like getting practice there and making interesting experiences. That's an easy way to get organic visibility, because you're a kid, like you're not going to be buying Facebook ads, you're not going to be doing YouTube ads or whatever. You could, like in the course I talk about like how to do grassroots marketing, like guerrilla marketing, like posting on Imgur and Reddit and Twitter and all that stuff. And that was like an angle, man. Actually, you guys heard about Way in the Woods, right? Way to the Woods, I think. I love this kid. This was a kid. He was 16. Anthony Tan. He was 16 when he started working on this gorgeous. It's not out yet. It's probably going to be on Game Pass. I think it was featured on Xbox or something. Way to the Woods looks beautiful, and its developer is 16. You'll play as a deer in this adventure game. And this kid, like he took, and now like he's older. He's not a kid. But this Anthony, he took inspiration from like The Last of Us and Journey and stuff. And he's 16 years old, and he posted on Tumblr. That was where he did. And I think he set his angle. Like he was like, hey, I'm 16, I'm making a game. And people love that because it looks so awesome. You know what I mean? I can't wait to play this game. I'm excited to play it. So yeah, use that to your advantage. Like that's with social media and stuff. That's what makes you so you. Oh man, I gotta go soon actually to pick up my daughter. But that's what makes you so unique. Is like you're a young kid and you're making games. Like that's really cool. So that's one way to look at it. Is embrace that. Don't hide behind it. And yeah, just. That could be an angle you use when you post on social media and stuff. I think that could be really helpful. Yeah, and Unity is my favorite, Jake. So yeah, you just keep practicing. Like at a young age, like is your first game gonna be a hit? No, it's not. Like I'm not trying to be dismissive, but it won't, because that's never happened in the history of art. That anyone's very first thing they made was genius and it was a huge success. But what can change the tides is if you keep practicing and you get to work. And that's what can make the biggest difference in your career. And you're starting off at a young age. Like I started making Jedi Knight mods and editing Jedi Knight levels. That was like Dark Forces 2 on PC back in the day. I was doing that stuff when I was 13 or 14, and I released them for free and I didn't get paid. But I was so excited to share that stuff with the world and get reviews and get like an 8 out of 10. My first levels were not 8 out of 10, by the way. They were bad. But, you just keep working at it. Your average YouTuber says, did you use any tutorials to make your game? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was always like Googling. I Googled a million different things. I'm self-taught in that regard, like I went to school for filmmaking, not really anything else. Like I learned editing, which I'd already was pretty good at editing before school because I did it so much, but I love like self-teaching or learning on the internet. It's awesome. Yeah, Jake says he's 13. So yeah, just get going, finishing projects, and that could be Unity games and releasing them on itch. And imagine if you stick with making games and then you're 23, you're still so young. Imagine making games for 10 years, head start, and then maybe by the time you're 30, you're you're a master at game development, and that could be your job. You know what I mean? But it's okay to try other things, because I didn't make games much until I was 25, and I just was doing film. I was doing video editing stuff. Anyway, cool. All right, this has been fun. Yeah, I probably could talk a little bit more, and then I gotta go. Diverson, good to see you. I'm a student in your course. The biggest difficulty I have is giving up ideas to reduce the scope of the project to stay focused and complete it. Yeah, you're not alone. And what's advice for that? Like, there was so many things I cut from the first tree. Like, I really did. I cut so many things, and I was almost embarrassed by it. Like, I was embarrassed by the final product. And that was kind of like what releasing it taught me, where I was like, I keep seeing the flaws because it's like the game is like this close to me. And I see all the problems with it. And then in my head, I know how good the game was. So I guess what I'm saying is you're going to be your worst critic. And even if you're cutting out things that help you finish the game, that's a huge win. It is. And so I would say cut out the things that's taking up too much time. And maybe set like a deadline. Say like, okay, by January 2022, my game will be out. And then, learn from it. See what happens, see like how people react to certain parts of the game, and then get play testers too. Like if you have time to do that, that's a huge learning opportunity. I think, one developer, I think maybe it was the maker of Gone Home or something. He mentioned how like the amount of play testing is in direct correlation to how good the game is. And that's kind of freaky to me because I barely did play testing with the first tree, believe it or not. I guess I play tested it, but having like someone with a fresh pair of eyes play your game, and I did get that a lot at PAX West. And that was like one of the highlights of my career, was going to PAX West and letting people play my game and meet all these really big, important gamers and game developers and all these like just everyday friendly people who were like, what's this game? Oh, that looks kind of cool, I guess. And then you watch them play it and you're just sitting there like just kind of like staring. You're kind of nervous, but then you get used to it. And everyone's really nice. Like no one's going to be like punch you in the face or like say like, hey, you're an idiot. Like no one does that in real life. Maybe on the internet, but not as often in real life. And it taught me a lot about what people like, how many like the issues they had with the second level in particular, and it helped me fine-tune stuff. So yeah, playtesting is important. Okay, I'm gonna go soon. It's been fun. Thanks for listening to my pitch. If you guys bought the 7-day game launch, thank you so much. I hope you like the material. And of course, I don't want anyone to be unhappy if they bought it, so just let me or Melanie know. You can email us at help@gamedevunlocked.com, and we'll help you out, make sure that you're happy. But I'm really proud of the material, and it's helped so many people. It's like helped like over like hundreds of people make their first game already, and get some of them like they get paid, like they sell units, which is really amazing. Like sell it on itch.io, which is so cool. And that's like the start of like a beautiful journey in game development. And it's a long journey. I'm not here to say, oh yeah, you're gonna make $1 million. No, like you probably won't. But if you stick with it and you keep improving and you stay disciplined, then yeah, maybe you could. Like it's happened. It's happened to it. Like the group of successful Steam developers, it's larger than people realize. We always talk about the big hits, like, oh, Minecraft was made by a solo developer. Like, well, that's an outlier. Like, don't think of Minecraft. Don't even think of like these indie hits like Among Us or Phasmophobia. There is a middle class of game developers on Steam that they find a niche, and they work on their game as hard as they can, and they make it as good as they can. And they sell like tens of thousands of units, and it's able to replace their day job. Like those do exist. And then the data suggests, like on Steam's marketplace, yeah, the floodgates have opened, but like game developers have analyzed what's released and the amount of money that those games have made, and it's increased. Like people are buying more games than ever, is what I'm saying. So it's exciting. It's exciting. And there's like, I do think I'm a huge fan of working a day job and then making your game as a passion project, because that's what I did. And then the stress is gone and you can make a game that's authentic to you. And then I think that's what people are really craving for in this day and age is authenticity. I truly believe that now. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys make, and I hope you guys don't give up. And I appreciate you guys listening and everything. So yeah, I'll read the chat one last time. Thank you guys. Vladimir, thank you. Thank you so much. Luana Santos, thank you for watching. Ali, thank you. Skinny Bandit, I appreciate it. Almost Dark Slide says, I already own your full course. Yes, the 7-day game launch is part of the full course, and it's also part of Thomas Brush's full-time game dev. So if you have those, you're good. You already have the material. I appreciate you guys watching it, and yeah, I'm excited to see what kind of stuff you guys make. And maybe I think I'll try to get on Monday, and maybe Elise can help. We can do like an art critique on indie game stuff. That'd be cool. All right, I love these live streams. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your games.